Okay, before we actually begin the video, there are a couple of things I need to say. First of all, yeah, I tried as hard as I could to get this video uploaded for the E3 Nintendo 2019 Direct. I had it finished, but there was no way I could be able to upload it in time, so, ouch. At least, on the other hand, I'm able to make this a bit less outdated, so, yeah, congratulations to the Dragon Quest fans. The character looks interesting. There are a few changes I'm going to have to make in this video now because there were some things I noticed that the hero had that we were kind of hoping to give to Sora. But you'll see those changes when we get there. Also, I don't think I'll be making an E3 video recap for this year. Just kind of lost a little interest, and to be honest, a lot of it's kind of a blur. But don't worry, we're still going to make a Banjo-Kazooie moveset video. It's just going to be a bit different. Instead, we're going to be going over the moves that he has compared to the moves that we thought they would have had for certain spots, as well as still speculate on things that they haven't shown off yet, so no worries on that one. Also in that video, you will see parts of my live reaction to Banjo-Kazooie being announced, for those who haven't already seen the full video on Twitter. But back to Sora, and as far as I'm concerned, he still kind of has a shot to get in, but it's kind of hard to say at this point. I feel like if there's going to be any other surprise characters that goes beyond the surprise of what we just got with Banjo, I kind of think it's Sora. I mean, yeah, we already got a Square Enix character, but he's technically more Disney than Square Enix. They just have a hand in it, that's all. Also, I'm kind of hoping that they'll announce a Fighter Pass Season 2, and they'll say that they're going to work on it after the team has taken a long-earned vacation. You guys let me know in the comments, where do you think Sora stands now? Do you think we'll get a Fighters Pass Season 2? And enjoy the Sora moveset video. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of A New Foe's Appeared, where we try to guess and predict what kind of a moveset a character could have for Smash Brothers. And today we're going to be talking about Sora. And joining me we have K.H. Ace.
Hello folks.
Leon Ramble.
Yes, hello all, it's me, the Rambler.
And Sunny Absol.
Hello everybody. Hope you're having a good day.
Alright, so let's not beat around the bush. Today we're just going to be going over what works in Sora's favor, what works against him, and if all the stars can align, what could his moveset possibly be? So first of all, the positives. What does Sora have going for him? Well, in order to get Sora into Smash, there's a couple of things that need to happen. First of all, his name needs to be on that list of characters that Sakurai picked from. If his name's not on there, it's not going to happen. But if his name is there, there's a very good shot he could have been picked. And for those who want to get into the whole situation about Sora being a licensed character and all that, well, we have some news for you, and this isn't exactly new news either. There's the video done by HMK about who owns the right to Sora. We know from Justin Scarponian, the vice president / general manager of Disney of Japan, he was asked what are the things that need to happen in order to get Sora to be in Smash Brothers, and basically it comes down to 4 things. 1, the fans want him in. That's an automatic check, and apparently it's not just the fans who want this. When asked in a Twitter post about Sora in Smash, the co-creator of the series responded with an enthusiastic yes! However, this tweet was removed for unknown reasons, but it was probably to stop fans from thinking it was a confirmation instead of him showing his support. Number 2, Tetsuya Nomura and Square Enix have to be okay with it, and considering that we've gotten Cloud in Smash and they're open to the possibility of collaborating again, I'd say they can trust Sakurai, which also answers the next condition. 3, it cannot be a poor representation of the character. Sakurai treats the third-party characters with the utmost respect. Every one of them is lovingly faithful to their sources, except when certain conditions are needed, but even then it's nothing major. Which leaves the final tally, Nintendo needs to send the invite. And that's where we stand. Whew! What do you guys think?
That's certainly a mouthful. But it really all depends on how willing Disney and Square are willing to kind of put Sora into the roster. Mainly speaking, because even though Tetsuya Nomura and Square are both familiar with Sakurai's handling of characters with Cloud, at the same time they were also pretty stingy with him. For both Smash 4 and Ultimate, seeing as that he still only has 2 music tracks, and he has next to no spirits. Period. I think he only has 2, and they're basically his both his different Smash renders.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but there are a couple of other things that are also working in Sora's favor. Now, even though Disney does own the rights to Sora, Disney is pretty much okay with letting other companies work with their characters. We've got Thanos in Fortnite, we've got Wreck-It Ralph and Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, and Disney themselves have said that they're not exactly haven't been that successful when it comes to publishing games, but they're more than open to letting other developers use their characters and licenses. And what's kind of sad here is that some people actually try to think that Sora would be in the same kind of camp as Goku, where it's like it's a licensed character, it's not going to happen, but there are some big things that separate the two of them. First of all, Sora originated as a video game character where Goku did not. So that's one thing he has over him big time.
Most definitely. That's kind of the part where people can get tripped up a little bit. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is a crossover full of licensed Disney's properties, but at the end of the day, Sora, the main protagonist, is a video game character first and foremost.
Correct. And the second part is, this is only my theory, so don't take this as truth. It's just me trying to make sense of this. Thing is, manga characters and anime characters, when they're distributed to other regions, they're localized by other companies, and not everybody is owned by the same one. Sakurai has said that everybody has to be on board, and, well, I mean, let's take a look at like that Shonen Jump game that was on the DS that didn't get localized. We had to import that one. And I think it's because so many different localization teams were working on those different properties. It wasn't done by one team. It was done by... It would have to have been done by every other team, and I don't think they could have come to terms on that. Or that would just cost too much for licensing, which is just kind of strange. But Disney, on the other hand, distributes their stuff worldwide. If it goes to Japan, it's going to be Disney Japan. If it goes to China, it's Disney China. Disney Europe. You see where this goes? It's all connected. So Disney as a whole would be behind it, as long as like the main branch or even Disney Japan is okay with it. The rest of them will just follow suit. So that's kind of what works in Sora's favor at the moment, as well. Along with the fact that Yoko Shimomura, the main composer of the series, has already done remixes for Smash Ultimate. So yeah. I think she'd be more than okay with doing some more of her work or allowing her music to be in the game, assuming that it's not owned by another company like Final Fantasy's music is. At least that's what the rumor is.
Yeah, and it also kind of helps that Kingdom Hearts is kind of at a different plane as far as Square Enix's priorities, because of course when it comes to Final Fantasy, that's Square's baby.
Yeah.
So, even though Kingdom Hearts, started off as a crossover between Disney and Final Fantasy, at the end of the day, I don't think they're going to be as too concerned with lending Kingdom Hearts over as compared to Final Fantasy.
Right.
It also helps that Kingdom Hearts doesn't have a potential conflict with their own sort of crossover-ish game, like Final Fantasy does with the Dissidia.
But that's all we can really talk about with the positives for Sora. Besides the huge fan base that's kind of behind it and the large support behind it as well, you're going to find a number of people that really want Sora in, like, Zero. But beyond that, we have to talk about some of the problems that could be there. And the biggest problem of them all is that Sora has to be on that list of characters. If he's not there, then he's not getting in. At least, that's the way I think of it. And who knows what Disney and Nintendo's relationship is? We don't really know. It just feels kind of strange if the biggest game company has the rights to use a character owned by one of the biggest companies on the face of the planet. Something tells me that there might be something we don't know behind the scenes that could possibly be an issue. But then again, it's like Disney has been okay with using their characters for other games and promotions, so I don't think it would be that big of a deal, except for a few areas. Number one, there's no way on earth we're going to be seeing Disney characters get in, so
No. That'll be the day.
We're not going to be seeing Donald and Goofy as a final Smash. I'm sorry, they're not getting in. We're not going to see spirits for them either, along with King Mickey. Sorry, go ahead.
As much as I was just gonna say, yeah. As much as I'd love for that to be a reality, it's like, yeah, that's out of the freaking question.
It would blow people's minds if it happened, but
Yeah, absolutely.
We get Mii Fighter dummies that are just in their outfits. That's like Dog Soldier and Duck Wizard.
Yes, we will take it.
Just great value versions of Donald and Goofy as Mii Fighters.
Exactly.
Here's your discount.
Here's your discount Disney characters. Yes.
No refunds.
So what else could be a problem? Well, we do have the other things that are going on there. It seems like the biggest rumor going around is that it's going to be Erdrick getting in, and unless Erdrick is leak bait, yeah, it might be a Dragon Quest character. And if it is, congratulations to the Dragon Quest fans out there. I hope he's everything you wanted. I hope you enjoy playing as him. Please do not make him an annoying character to play against. That's all I can ask for. Then again, this is Ultimate, who isn't annoying. What else do we have here? They would have to change the Mickey icon on the Keyblade, but that's real easy to do. They could just instantly switch it out for the Kingdom Hearts symbol, which is the heart in the crown. No big deal. One big issue I would have, though, is what would they do if Haley Joel Osment is in a union voice actor, and Nintendo, according to rumors and as far as the urban legends go, do not use them. So does that mean we wouldn't get the English voice actor for Sora?
I think we get the Japanese voice. I'm not sure what the state of that One World of Final Fantasy DLC was, where he was like a chibi. I haven't actually played the game.
Yeah, that was World of Final Fantasy.
Yeah. I just don't know about the state of the voice in there. If it's a union, if he is the union actor, they'll probably do the Japanese one, which... big sad there.
Yeah, and I've heard that the Japanese version actually, the Japanese players actually do enjoy the English voice actors more. But I can't really confirm that, so...
I mean, the final mixes did come with the English dub, are in the base game, I believe.
Yeah.
And what else? And then there was the more recent tweet about the French tweet that one of the head guys from Kingdom Hearts just straight up said no. Now, this could be NDA, but usually, even if he was under NDA and he was trying to lie, you would just say things like, I would like to see that someday, or like, I hope we get to see that someday. So I don't think the guy was necessarily lying, but fingers crossed that he was.
True. You never know. They're not exactly trolls over there at Square Enix.
They're very tight on this stuff, so unless Erdrick is the leak bait, it's going to be difficult to see Sora get in. But who knows? We may have more fighter passes in the future. I mean, who wouldn't want that besides Sakurai, who needs vacation?
True.
Yeah,
if they retweet the E3 Direct, we might have something.
It just depends. We were going to have to wait and see, but it won't be that much longer now. So even if Sora doesn't get in, this moveset is going to serve as sort of a template, or at least a basic idea of how he can be brought into the world of Smash. Are we ready to go?
Yep.
Anytime.
Ready.
Alright. So starting off is playstyle. Fast combos with magic abilities, lots of flashy moves and multi-hit attacks, can be effective at close range and distance. Medium lightweight ability, run speed is average, maybe a little slippery when stopping, but not as much as Luigi, and his total jump height is about average. That's the way I can picture him.
But do we make him floaty or not?
I kind of want him to be a little floaty. Yeah, I guess you could say if we bring his jump height down a little bit, then he can be floaty.
Yeah.
So maybe below average jump height, but he can be a bit floaty. As much as I would love to have him glide, that ability no longer exists in Smash Brothers.
That would be kind of OP.
Yeah, we can't do that. Now,
I actually.
okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
We'll get on that later.
Okay.
We'll start talking about recoveries and stuff, but yeah, I actually was going more towards the floaty direction, just mainly because that's just kind of how I felt like his moves were. I know in KH2, what people consider to be the gold standard, his moves were a little on the tighter side, but even then, I still kind of had that little kind of flowy feel, like he flows between combos and stuff.
Yeah, he does go quickly from combo to combo, which was years ago. When I did the What If They Were in Brawl series, I had Mennonite be Sora just because of how fast his attacks were.
I'm totally for the idea of him being a bit floaty, akin to his games. It's just a matter of, how well can they implement it to where it's not, where it doesn't come off as like depending on whatever moves he's doing or whatever. Like what moves can stay consistent with the.
Oh yeah, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But first of all, let's go over his specials. We've always got to start with this, and we've got a couple of ideas for his neutral special, or at least the one we have one from Omega that said Strike Raid, which I'm not sure if I really want that as his special, but it's an
not
idea.
the neutral one at least.
Yeah, it's an idea we can at least look at. Sora tosses his Keyblade forward as it spins around, causing damage to whoever is touched by it. After traveling a decent way forward, about a third of Final Destination, it spins back to Sora, who catches it. This move is meant to trap the opponent's strikes and then knock them towards Sora to begin a combo. The thing is, though, most characters that have a boomerang or a projectile of some sort, they don't use their main weapon, and Sora's main weapon is his Keyblade, so he pretty much has to be locked in place while he waits for that Keyblade to come back. And if he gets attacked while his attack is still going, it just automatically, magically teleports back to his hand like it does in the games.
They could do that where even if he misses it, it'll be faster in terms of respawning or whatever. That way, it's not like King K. Rool's crown move where it's just slow when he throws it. Because Sora with a projectile move, it's like, I'm not against the idea, but it's like, just don't make it to where it leaves him too open for vulnerability.
Yeah, especially when it's his main weapon to attack with in the first place.
It would be great for keeping distance, but it would also be huge to punish because that Keyblade is pretty large, so he would have a huge hitbox, but like we said, if the enemy just jumps over him or dodges it, he's up for a big punish.
But I think that's a good way to balance it, though.
Yeah.
Like, he has a good range as far as a projectile attack that can boomerang with like a huge hitbox, but at the same time, the trade-off is you're wide open.
Okay, and the next idea we had was from Smash Mario Pro 2000, who wanted it to be more of his Kingdom Hearts 2 counterpart, where the Flame Cyclone circles around Sora. It would be very short-ranged, only covering Sora, could be used as a great get-out-of-shield option, as well as a get-off-me move if you're being rushed down. This can work as well. It depends on where we want to put all these moves and what's the best balance towards it. My idea for his special, however, is Magnega.
Ah.
Yes, it pulls enemies towards the energy, then sends them upwards after the energy disperses. Because I would like to think that if Sakurai were to put Sora in, he's going to put in moves that we may not see coming, because he loves to give us different ideas and surprises. It completely threw me off guard that Mega Man would have the Crash Bomber as a side B move, but I love using it. So, to see something like this be brought in, totally understandable, totally worth it. I think it's a nice trapping move, almost kind of like Mewtwo's Confusion, but it kind of pulls them in. They can still move, maybe, but they're... I guess we'll have to find a perfect balance to it.
But they risk getting like sucked in and kind of kind of like the black hole item almost.
Yeah, it wouldn't last that long, or would it? We'll get to that later. We'll move on to his side Bs, and one of them we've got. Well, I do have two of them, but we'll go over the other ideas first. We have Omega with Sonic Blade, which Sora thrusts forward with his Keyblade. If you time a button press just as Sora is hitting a target, he will do it again. You can do this 4 times. On the 5th time he does this, he will use Sonic Blast, blasting foes away with good damage but ending the attack. I don't think he'd be able to do it that many times.
No,
that's way too iffy. I'm like, it's like... Yeah, and with a more powerful move at the end too, I'm like, that sounds more like a final smash than an actual, balanced attack.
Yeah, that one would be Sonic Rave at that point.
Yeah.
He could maybe do it 2 times, and if we want to try and do it like that, this could actually be his up special, and it could be working away similar to Pikachu, Pichu, and Greninja's, where he can go in like 2 different directions doing that, but that's something we can at least use in another area. Sonny Absol, you came up with the Strike Raid for your side B, so we kind of covered that
basically,
already.
it was basically kind of how I was explaining it earlier. it just kind of also act a little bit like King K. Rool's Crown, just faster because it's generally a faster move in the games. And what I did was kind of have the side B used for the first throw, and then kind of almost like the timing similar to how Incineroar's side B works. If you can time it at the right time, you could hit just a standard B up to 3 more times for having a chain combo going on.
And then we had these two ideas. This Smash Mario Pro 2000 and I kind of had the same idea, different interpretation of how it would work. We have Blizzaga. He puts it down as a fast, long-reaching projectile that freezes opponents on contact. I kind of had it more as like Kingdom Hearts 1 version, where it's a short-range shotgun blast kind of attack, powerful knockback at close range, less to no knockback the further you are. You can be frozen at high damage percentages, but you won't go flying off the screen like PK Freeze. The range isn't that good though.
Well, yeah, I figured since it's kind of like a shotgun ice almost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like it's just a quick burst of ice. It's not like Lucas's PK Freeze where it's a lot more concentrated.
No, it'd be kind of like, I guess, Pikachu's little Thunderbolt for his neutral.
Yeah.
It would be kind of cool if they used like the Kingdom Hearts 3 version of it, where it leaves like a little trail of ice, and then maybe they could slip on it. But that might make it a bit too OP.
Do we want tripping?
That's the one thing that would not be fun. It's like fighting against opponents who play Sora. It's like using that blizzard attack, and it's like hey, watch out for the ice leftovers, you'll trip, and it's like, oh great, joy.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be tripping, but it can it'll be slippery, but not you won't
Less
actually
traction.
trip.
Yeah, I'm down for just being slippery. Tripping would be too obnoxious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the other one I had is, or however you want to say it, is it Fireга? Yeah, just little fireballs shot out just as a projectile. But it won't be anything like Lucas's PK, or not Lucas, but Ness's PK Fire. It wouldn't be like that.
No, yeah.
The classic.
Again,
If anything, maybe it would be like Ryu or Ken's Hadoukens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next up, the Up Special. Now I had 3 different ideas for this one, but Sunny Absol, you can go ahead and talk about yours.
Yeah, so basically, what I kind of had is I did manage to incorporate Glide as an up special. It basically would be kind of a slightly modified approach to the Parasol that Peach and Daisy would have. It would be a very temporary glide so that it's not really too overpowered or anything. And he also can't really gain much ground vertically. But to kind of compensate for that, he does have higher normal jumps instead. So basically, it would be better for a horizontal recovery more than anything, as opposed to vertical, because his standard jumps would get the vertical part covered.
I mean, that's possible, but it also feels like he wouldn't have anything to protect him while he's gliding, whereas Peach and Daisy do have the umbrella, so this would be pretty difficult for him to get back if he's completely wide open.
But generally speaking, when you use recoveries for most characters, they do have that very large vulnerability period anyway. I think there's very few that don't.
I think the only thing you could do is if he actually did have the Sonic Blade as his side B, then you can go from Glide into Sonic Blade, but you would have to be very careful because once that's over and you're in the air, you pretty much go into free fall.
Yeah.
All right, the ideas I had for this one was, the first one is wind.
Oh, arrow?
Arrow, yes. He creates a little gust of wind. If he's on the ground, it blows other people away with a wind box. Not a hit box, but a wind box. It won't do any real damage, but it will let Sora jump into the air, which then he can just kind of do another move that we'll get to later. But that's one idea I had. It's just the wind kind of propels him upwards. The other one I had was flow motion. He could do a huge jump, or he could just do one of those spinning attacks that he has in Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah. I think that would work well if he had the super slide as a side special, and then it just goes into that spinning move kind of.
And then the other one we had was the shot lock and the air step, where he just instantly zooms to a location. This could be kind of like how Lucario's... It could be like Lucario's speed, but he can only go in one direction. He can't really curve it, so... I think Pit, but a little bit faster.
In a way, it could also work like Joker's grappling hook. The difference is that instead of just grappling to ledges, Sora can, like, technically, quote-unquote, grapple to whatever point the shot lock is at.
Yeah, you just might have to, like, give it a certain range, because otherwise it'd be really broken.
Well, yeah, it's like there has to be a limit on it.
Yeah, it's like figuring out the balance between that and how far he should go.
Like, I could easily see that idea being a good thing for combos. Basically, it's like, say if you're a good distance away, you get like a particular move, and it knocks your opponent back a bit too much. And if the range is close enough, you could end up closing the distance immediately with his up B.
The new Bayonetta.
What have we done?
So yeah, it could be a good way to close the gap when you're on the ground, so it has utility when you're on the ground as well.
And then we move on to his down B. And there's two good ideas we got for this one. The first one is the kind of obvious one, Reflega. And Sunny Absol, you also came up with the same idea, so...
Yeah, basically, Reflecta kind of... It does kind of take after, like, two particular characters. Basically, you know, the revamped counter and reflect for Palutena.
Right.
And interestingly enough, when he has his persona out, Joker actually does exactly what I was thinking of. Where
so does King K. Rool as well.
Oh yes, same with King K. Rool. So basically, it's a barrier that can block physical and projectiles for a brief period of time.
Nothing really much to go over with that. I mean, it's kind of like we all imagine. I wish we really could give him a more unique counter, like, say, Incineroars, but it doesn't really work with Sora. We don't really have a move that goes with it.
That's really how Reflecta kind of works anyway.
Yeah. And the last idea I had for it, a bit controversial, but let's face it, we all use this move in Kingdom Hearts. If it's not there, it just feels out of place. Kuraga. Sora just heals himself, but there may be a huge penalty towards this. Like, he can't... There's definitely a huge time before he can use it, and we'll get to that later. But basically, it could heal a certain amount. An idea that came to my head when I was editing this was that maybe the cooldown could be shown as more of a green glow, and while that green glow is around Sora, he can't use Kuraga again. Once it's gone, he's free to use it. Another idea is that instead of healing a certain amount all at once, it restores 3% damage for every 2 seconds for a total of 10 seconds, but you still have to wait for the green glow to go away before you can use it again. Just an idea that popped up while I was editing. But we've also got a couple of other ideas. Oh wait, Omega did come up with one other idea. He wants to put in the command deck from Chain of Memories, where he would get like a random card that would do like a certain magic ability depending on the color of the card. But I feel like, please, no cards, please. It's an interesting random idea, but I don't really think we need this.
It would be pretty funny to just see some RNG shenanigans basically happen where you're not sure what kind of card you're gonna get. It would be funny, admittedly, I won't lie, because it's always funny seeing people who play like Luigi get like a misfire out of pure luck, and then you got like Game & Watch getting the random 9s at the worst possible time a person could imagine. It's like, it would be funny seeing Sora get like the most powerful, ridiculous magic card he has in his arsenal.
You get the, what is it? It's the Alexius card that just makes all enemies on screen disappear.
Oh no! Oh no! Dust to dust.
Let's not do this anymore. Okay, let's move on to smash attacks. Pretty simple for these. Sunny Absol and I basically came up with the exact same idea for his up smash, although I think we interpreted it a little differently. Thundara. Basically...
Yes. Thundara, Thundaga, basically thunder. The lightning.
Right. I'll let you say your idea first.
Okay, so, actually, just in general for the smash attacks, that's where I put all of his magic spells. See, because they kind of act as kind of one-offs, and that's kind of where they fit as smash attacks. In the case of Thundaga, it kind of acts almost as similar to Pikachu and Pichu's down special. Probably limited in a similar range to like, Palatena's up special. It does the most damage and launch power to those that are closest to Sora, but it could still hurt for reduced damage if you're slightly farther away, kind of like at the upper range of the attack. And if it doesn't launch the opponent, it stuns them briefly, like like the stun gun from Zero Suit Samus. So it has kind of like a paralyzing effect.
Now, I had somewhat of a similar idea, but a little difference here. The way I was going to have it is his attack would be kind of like Marth, Roy, Chrom, Lucina's attack, where they just kind of like stick their sword up in the air because that's his animation when he does it. So there's the attack right there, but then like there's thunder that kind of like maybe comes in front of him to stun an opponent.
That is easier to pull off, so I could see it being that.
All right. The down smash, okay, no offense, but I could not take any other idea or put them in there for this, because this was the idea that actually inspired me to actually try and do a moveset for Sora in the first place. Down smash has to be explosion.
Has to be.
I am all for that. It's like you cannot go wrong with that.
Nope, it makes so much sense.
This is the one where the three little orbs circle around Sora. It would circle around him maybe 3 times. Opponents caught in them will take all the hits until the last one where the knockback comes from.
Yeah, I can see that being the down smash over Faraga.
I mean, Faraga could also be down smash, but I just think explosion works. It looks like a more unique down smash than.
Well, it has more of that pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot flashier than the magic spell.
Gotta have that flash factor.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a pretty average start time, a little longer on the end leg because it does like more attacks. Let's see, and then the forward attack, the forward smash. Gotta be honest here, this one is just not that special. It's just him, basically where he does a little leap and does a vertical slash. The damage is decent, has knockback and a little start lag, quick animation, little end lag. It's basically that little move when he goes like, "This is it!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so with those out of the way, we can move on to his neutrals. And thankfully, this is where things start to speed up a bit because, well, you can't really go too much in depth with these attacks. They're pretty much all going to be basic. So for his neutral attack, I think he does like a 3-hit combo, but it only works if the moves connect and are not blocked. So unlike everybody else that can keep going with their attacks, if it's blocked once, you're pretty much done.
Yeah, he pretty much like stumbles.
Yeah, but they are fast enough that you can use them pretty quickly. So
yeah,
I'm not sure about the frame rate on it, but it would be pretty darn good. Yeah, sorry, another little editor's note for this one. Originally, we had it as like a quick slash. It wasn't anything that special. However, when going through the footage, I kind of noticed the one where Sora does like the forward stab or the forward jab, and I thought maybe that could be his side tilt, and then that could lead into his 3-hit neutral combo. You know, that way you get your little combo going off of that. And it also kind of makes up for when Sora misses with his normal neutrals. You want to set it up for it. Down tilt, he swings the Keyblade in front of himself on the ground, just kind of like taking a swing. Kind of like Ike's animation, so if you need something to compare it to, there you go. The up tilt, he knocks the player upwards with a vertical slash, basically, but he goes from like the bottom to the top to knock them upwards. And he's done this, and he has this attack, so this makes a lot of sense for him. And then Sunny Absol, you kind of had some ideas here as well for the up tilts. Yeah, for your up tilt, you actually put down Quick Blitz from Dream Drop Distance.
Mainly because it's just a very quick motion move.
Down tilt, you had the Guard Break from Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, it's basically kind of like a short stopper sort of move. It's, something kind of to stumble your opponent a little bit.
And then for the forward tilt, you had Groundbreaker from Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, just for kind of like a little extra, more powerful than usual move.
And then for his run attack, I had, he just slides on the Keyblade to attack, kind of like his Kingdom Hearts 1 and Chain of Memories attack. Unless he was going to do like, he does like that move like he has in Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3, where he can just like close in on an opponent and attack, but I think in this case it'd be more like a dash attack, because otherwise it'd be pretty broken. So this, like, just have him like instantly lock onto an opponent like that, unless you're using the
maybe
up
it would
B.
just be representative.
Yeah, unless if you're using the up B for the shot lock.
Now we move on to aerials.
Okay, all right. This is that was the area that I was kind of reaching a little bit.
Yeah, and
Because
it's kind of hard here to get the aerials for Sora to feel just right, because when you're playing Kingdom Hearts, let's face it, you're going to do a lot of aerial attacks. And once you're doing aerial attacks, it just kind of kills your momentum, and it's hard to know how that's going to be translated into Smash.
Well, that and, Sora moves very differently between air and ground.
Yes.
Like, especially once you start adding more combos in with AP points, the stuff he does is just very different.
Oh yeah, but we're going to keep it low. We're going to keep it like with the basic stuff that you start off with. We don't want to give him like all the 10 plus combos that he can get. That's just way too much. For his neutral, I think he just kind of like spins the Keyblade around him.
Yeah.
The forward aerial, he does a 3-hit combo, huge end lag, but it only does all of the attacks if the first one connects. You have to wait for the animation to finish before doing another attack.
Like, kind of like akin to like I can kind of see it being like, since it's gonna have major end, like I can see it basically being like those big 3 air slashes that he does to his opponents or whatever, like that one particular air combo.
Yeah, horizontal slash or something.
Yeah,
oh wait, no,
something like that. It's like it's where those like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the ups, the up aerial, he just swings the Keyblade upwards, one quick slash, nothing too fancy there. The back one, however, he does a backwards vertical slash. The sweet spot has a spike.
Nice.
For the down one, he slams the Keyblade to the ground, and this can work with the arrow move, if he has that, where it just launches him into the air, and then he can use the down aerial to slam him down.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 when you're free-falling a little bit, and you're just... Skydiving.
Basically that move. Now for his grab. And this, in your idea, Sunny Absol, this is where you wanted to use the magnet to pull them in, or at least keep them trapped there while he does his grab attacks.
Yeah, the basis of what I was doing here is that the grab is used with magnet because that's kind of known for like drawing all the enemies in. And this is where I actually had all the flow motion stuff. Basically, like he does flow motion as his like throwing move on the opponent, and then uses it to kind of repel them away, or to use it for like some quick combo hits, then toss them. So basically, it'd be a lot more restrained than it is in the games because with motion, Sora likes to move all over the place.
Yes.
But this is where he does like some. He used flow motion for his grabs to do some like quick shonen moves on his opponent. But yeah, magnet would be how he would grab. Like he would not. I actually think it would work if he didn't actually grab with his hands because we never really see Sora grab his opponents a whole lot.
True.
So I think using the magnet spell would be a nice touch.
It would be a nice touch. But to be fair, there are plenty of characters that do grab with their hand, even if we've never seen them do it before. So I think he would grab with one hand, and then he would just like hit them with the hilt of the Keyblade. For the forward throw, he just hits them away with the Keyblade, just kind of like swings, knocks them away. Up throw, he throws the opponent upwards. Down throw, he puts them on the ground, then hits the ground with the move that launches the opponents in the air, like that little shockwave he does when he hits the ground.
Oh yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
And for backwards, he spins around them with the flow motion and chucks them away with a Keyblade.
That's pretty nice.
Now we get to the more fun stuff, because that... Oh, wait. Actually, no. We still need to cover the final smash. We kind of have 2 ideas that work with this, to be honest, and they're just kind of what you might expect, except maybe the second one. The first one is... Oh, actually, no. We have 3 different ideas. The first one is... It's a cutscene where Sora and Riku use like that giant Keyblade that you see in Dream Drop Distance and in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that is a little too spoiler-driven. I mean...
This is Smash. They spoil everything.
well, true. And at the same time, it's like Kingdom Hearts has been... I think chances are a lot of people that want Sora in have already seen it.
Yeah, it's fair game at this point.
Yeah.
And the other one is we have that laser Keyblade idea where it's like Sora and Riku use like their Keyblades to shoot a giant laser like they do at Xemnas at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2. There was your spoiler. But they showed in they showed in all the other Kingdom Hearts that come after, so like
it'd be exactly like Zelda's Arrow Final Smash or Dark Pit's Final Smash from like the Smash Wii U era.
Just make sure to aim it right.
And then the last idea I had, this just needs to work. The Ultima Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts 3. This thing is a beast. It is a cutscene, and it does everything that you see on screen in a cutscene. It just instantly destroys your opponent. If you've not gotten the Ultima Keyblade, I highly recommend you get this thing, because it is not what like all the other Ultima Keyblades where you just see the stats and they're much more powerful. No, this thing is the ultimate wrecking machine. This thing,
and it's perfect.
Yeah, it's
because we have like
you know what? I actually do agree. Giving Sora the Ultima Keyblade for the Final Smash and having it be like the Kingdom Hearts 3 one would just be like absolute eye candy. It would be very satisfying.
It's the kind of wrecking machine that would make Wreck-It Ralph cry.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish we could summon him. Okay, I kind of had to slice this in because I really forgot to bring that up, but I didn't talk about the actual gimmicks that Sora could bring.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, it's like, yeah, like, when are we going to bring that up?
Yep.
So basically, we have two different ways of how Sora can be different from every other character in the game. And as we kind of hinted at before, the magic meter. Yeah, that stings a little, but not to worry. We do have a backup plan. This is not the only idea we had for Sora for how unique you could be in this game. That said, if you were interested in or curious, it was going to work the way you thought it would. It was the magic meter. Use a little, it makes the weaker version of the spell. You charge it up, it makes a stronger version, but once it's used up, you have to wait for it to recharge. Some of the moves would either become weaker or they would lose some of their abilities like Thundara, and some moves might be replaced altogether. But that's how it was going to work. So now we can just skip on to the next idea, which was the drive gauge. And when it's full, you press either shield and the neutral attack, and he gets his Valor form. Or you push shield and special, and he gets his wisdom form. Now his attacks are completely different. In Valor form, it's pretty much what you're seeing on screen, and that's all you really have to do to imagine it. All the magic attacks are pretty much gone, but they're replaced with more attack power. He can be a lot faster, but he probably wouldn't be, he'd probably take a lot more damage, and he would probably also be knocked away very easily. Whereas with Wisdom form, all of his physical attacks are now gone, but they're replaced with magic attacks. Kind of like what you're seeing on screen as well. We just gotta find a way to properly balance it so he's not completely overpowered. But either way, it gives him a huge boost, and it depends on what form you want to give him, so it feels like it's player's input that makes a big difference in how you want it to be.
That is definitely very unique and would be a whole lot of fun. I think the biggest concern against that is that it kind of sounds like the entire moveset, not just like specials, but like everything is changing up. So you would essentially have to create 3 entire movesets for one character. I mean, granted, there is precedence for this. I mean, after all, with a Pokemon trainer, you are controlling 3 characters in one, so it's not entirely unheard of.
Yeah.
And given how the drive gauge would work, it would be very similar to the SP gauge for Joker, and his moveset changed a lot too.
Yep. I definitely understand that this would take a lot of work, but they do want to make sure that their DLC characters are as special and unique as possible. So,
I mean, hey, they got to have people spend that $25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like got to make every dollar you spend on that worth it.
Yeah, it is doable at the very least. Like they have done crazy stuff like that before.
Now we can move on to the fun little details, such as his taunts. The first one I have is, he says, "How do you like that?" with his fist upwards, like after his victory from the Sephiroth battle from Kingdom Hearts 2.
one of the taunts that would be so snarky and it'd be perfect for the competitiveness that is Smash. Sora would hold up his fist like yours did before with the previous taunt, but he would say, "You're gonna cry," like he said to Zigbar. Like, I would love that. It's so snarky. I love that scene. I love his delivery of that line. "You're gonna cry."
And then, Cindy Absol, you came up with this idea. He makes a funny face.
Oh yeah, the KH1 funny face.
That'd be very fun.
And he
too.
does this in all the other games too. He makes a funny face in Kingdom Hearts 2 when he's talking to Riku at the end, and he makes a funny face to Boo in Monsters Inc. He's gonna make a funny face somewhere.
Yeah.
Number 3. This is also your idea as well. He says, "Give me strength" while making a summoning pose.
Yeah, just kind
Yeah, I
of,
like that one.
reference the summons. Have it as a taunt.
And I have his for his idle animations, because he actually does kind of have 2 that we can put in there. He puts the Keyblade over his shoulder and stands straight up.
Yeah, that works.
He does this, and then he also... The other one is he puts his hands behind his head. Both of them just like leaning back, kind of looking a bit relaxed. The Keyblade isn't in his hand. It disappeared.
Yeah, he is pretty carefree.
Yeah, that'd be a wonderful addition to to idle animations.
Now for his victory animation, I put down here he has 2 of his animations from the victories of the Olympus Coliseum in Kingdom Hearts 1, where he twirls the Keyblade around and says, "That's the power of the Keyblade." And there was another one there that I kind of forgot. But you're going to see it on screen, and I'm going to write it in there.
Yeah.
So sorry for me not being able to say what that is, but the last one, I just had to put this one in there. One of them, he's playing with a Dream Eater.
Adorable.
Probably most likely that bouncy cat one.
Exactly.
Meow,
Awesome
of
as
course.
heck.
Now, the victory music could either be a recreated rendition of Dearly Beloved, or it could be the victory theme from Union Cross that KH Ace has mentioned in the past.
Or they could
Yeah.
also do like a very slight new variation of like Sora's main character theme, fit for Smash.
Mm-hmm.
Very possible.
I mean, it would be fitting, yes.
Now, the intro, when he actually jumps into the game, where, it goes 3, 2, 1, and you see the characters come on screen, I've only got 2 ideas for this one. One, he gets dropped off from the gummy ship. Kind of cool to see that.
That's what I was thinking.
And then the other one is the door to light opens up with Sora stepping through, but it just kind of seems like it's too familiar to Palutena's.
Well, I mean, arguably the gummy ship would also kind of be similar to Samus.
Right,
Or,
but at least-
Falcon.
or also Falcon, yeah.
but at the very least, it's visually distinctive.
Yeah.
True.
Like,
One idea that I did think of, I'm not too sure how well they could make this look cool or whatever, is like, since, Sora is all about kind of like diving into hearts or whatever, they could just simply make his heart float down and make him like magically appear through that somehow, like have some kind of blinding light happen when it's like when it like,
Wait.
They could
do
have
that.
him appear like Roxas in
Wait.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Wait. What about if, he's already there, but he's floating, and then his heart enters him, like in his game over screen?
That's a good idea too. Yeah, that sounds really good. That sounds really cool.
I'm glad you thought of that.
I try.
Okay, let's just have a little fun here and say that if Sora does get a little cinematic for the teaser trailer for him getting in, what would be his tagline? And this is where I really struggled, because we already
Sora
had...
joins the battle.
Yeah, we've already had Richter crosses over, which would have been perfect for Sora. But no, we don't get that. So the best I could think of is, and I've got 4 ideas. The best one I have is Sora awakens his powers.
Because the power of waking.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I really got nothing. Like, I mean, yeah, at least you actually got some stuff. Like my I can't come up with anything. I'm like, what would sound good for a Sora tagline? I'm like, I got nothing. My mind is blank.
The next one I have...
Sora has the key to victory.
Sora shows his valor. I'm still stuck.
Yeah,
Sora is the key to all.
I've got Sora drops into battle because of Dream Drop Distance and a little animation from Kingdom Hearts 1, where he just kind of like drops from the sky. I've got Sora unlocks his powers, and I've got Sora opens the door to battle. And these were the best I could come up with. And watch they come up with something completely different, and we're either going to
Sora-
love it or hate it.
Sora accepts his destiny or something.
Ooh.
I don't know. That just came to mind from the One Sky, One Destiny tagline they like to use.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it out there. Then we have the Punch-Out banner. Little taglines you see in the Punch-Out level. For this one, I've only got 2 ideas, and only the first one kind of really works because it's the most accurate. Wielder of the Keyblade. That's... yeah.
Yep. Can't call him
Pretty
a Keyblade
straightforward.
master.
Yeah, and the other one is chosen by the Keyblade, which is not entirely accurate. I just wanted to bring that up because I know somebody's going to comment on that in the comments, like, why didn't you say he's
Or something like...
It's like, why didn't you say he's the Keyblade's chosen one? Because technically, he wasn't chosen by the Keyblade.
The franchise likes to mess with you on that.
They like to do it until Birth by Sleep.
Continuity? What is that?
Yep. Oh, Master Yensid's Tower will explain it in Kingdom Hearts 3, 6 years after the problems there.
Not to mention, why is Donald so surprised that Yensid lives there when he's already been there in Birth by Sleep?
Exactly. That's like that's always bothered me.
There's other things, but we're not going to go into that. We're not going to focus on here.
Talking about like the continuity issues or whatever, showing how the development issues were with the story in general. It's like, yeah, it's just a huge can of worms.
Yeah.
The next idea we wanted to go over was classic mode. What could be his route, his journey? What makes this one stand out from everything else? And even though I'm sure everybody would like to have the dark versions of characters, we kind of already have that with other characters like Joker. So we had to go with something else. And the first idea I had was crossover combatants. This is where he's fighting against characters that have crossed over into other franchises as well. Mario has been in other franchises before. He's been in like NBA Street Jam or whatever, so there you go. We have Snake, who's been in DreamX World TV The Fighters. I'm not sure if I said that right, but he's also been in Ape Escape. We have Pac-Man, who's been in the Mario Kart arcades. We have Ryu, who's been in so many other crossovers, like Marvel vs. Capcom and Capcom Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. We have Cloud, who has been in, of course, Kingdom Hearts, and Dissidia, which is kind of crossing over with Final Fantasy itself. We have Sonic with Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. And then for his boss, we did not want Master Hands. We did not want to be lazy. So instead, we had 2 ideas for this. Well, technically kind of 3. The first one, this is the one I just really want to go with, Dracula, because of the darkness.
Yes.
And then
Perfect.
Yeah.
And considering he has 2 phases, it'd be perfect reference to how Kingdom Hearts bosses, like the big ones, usually have a lot more phases.
Yep.
Exactly. And
Perfect.
Yep. And then the other one was Gallium, because he kind of looks like he could pass for like a Heartless.
The Mac, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could pass for like a Heartless giant battle that you have sometimes with some of those
He could
characters.
be a gummy ship boss.
It'd be fitting considering Socialism and Syria in general just reminded me so much of Kingdom Hearts with those creatures.
Yep. And then and if that idea didn't work, I had another one, which is Chosen Heroes. Like, even though he's not really chosen by the Keyblade, he is usually referenced as that. So
Yeah,
we have other
still.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we have other heroes that are like
Blind.
chosen by destiny to battle against him. Like, you would fight all the Links, you would fight somebody from Fire Emblem, because one of them was always by destiny. You have
At least Crom.
Yeah. You have Sonic, who Sonic and the Black Knight, where they had like that prophecy, like the blue hedgehog will save the day, blah blah. Or was that also in Secret Rings? It was like in one of them.
Just, I think the storybook games in general, yeah.
I think if we're also going on the Chosen Hero theme, Joker could also fit in there too, because generally within the Persona games, the main character, the protagonist, the one who is like usually the one that can wield more than one persona, he is usually chosen by the Velvet Room attendants.
Okay, great, because I had a little bit of trouble coming up with another character. I actually had Samus on there because of, like, her Chozo stuff, but it seemed like it was stretching a bit too far. The other 2 characters I did have, though, we had Ness from Earthbound, because it seems like it was his destiny to defeat Gygas, and then we had Shulk, who was the chosen wielder of the Monado. or era of the Monado, however you want to put it. And then, of course, the same bosses as mentioned earlier, either Dracula, Gallium, or possibly even Ganon, if you really want to consider that the whole darkness. But I think Dracula or Gallium just feel like they fit a bit better.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Moving on, we can talk about stages. We have to use only Kingdom Hearts only stages, so we have, I think the best ones to pick from are either going to be Destiny Islands, Twilight Town, The World That Never Was, and you guys like to always put in Call to the Heart.
I think Traverse
Awakening?
Town was also mentioned.
I know
Traverse Town's a bit simple, unless
Yeah.
they made it like a travel stage.
Yeah, so it didn't seem like it really pops out, whereas Twilight Town has really started to become a lot more recognizable.
Great
Yeah.
music, though.
This is one stage that I would love to see. But at the same time, though, I'm not really too sure. Considering the spoiler significance of it, the final world from KH3, like
Bro.
the environment is beautiful,
It
like in that
is.
stage, and
It could only be a walk-up, though.
like
Yeah, the problem is like it's not iconic enough.
yeah, that's true. Like that's true. It's not as iconic as the other levels, but at the same time, it's just something interesting just to kind of throw out there as an idea.
Right. I did have only one idea for Destiny Islands, and it's like it's a normal kind of stage until the giant Heartless shows up as a stage boss.
Oh, Dark Side.
Yeah.
Happens like a minute 30 in or something.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the whole stage just kind of so like you start to see the background change and like being sucked into darkness, and then there's Dark Side. Because why
Dark
not?
Side's the new Yellow Devil.
It sounds terrible, but you know it works.
Yep.
Okay, his losing animation, it's just him clapping.
Of course.
Yeah. Just kind of had to cover that. He hits the screen, cheek against the screen with a shocked look. Like, it's really hard to get into the animation stuff. Like, we don't want to go into like his block into animation. We don't want to go into his dodge rolls, even though he does have some dodge roll animations. But it's just, there's some animations that are really hard to nail. So forgive us if we don't get this right in the future.
Like, one thing I would do for his clapping animation, just a little tidbit, I would give him that classic pouty face that he does at certain points when he gets really upset. Like, he's just clapping his hands, closing his eyes with this very upset look. I would love that.
Okay, and we've got some alts that we can look at for him, but how about this? You have like 4 different alts, but they're like 2 different palette swaps. You have the Kingdom Hearts 2 version and the Kingdom Hearts 3 version, even though they look very similar to each other. You have the alt blue, which would be based on Donald. You have the alt green based on Goofy, and you'd have an alt white gray sort of one that's based on Riku. And if you really want to get creative, you can have an alternate costume based on Rage Sora from Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of figured it would be between 2 and 3 because 2 is the most recognizable one, especially with kind of the more modern lanky Sora. Because of course the Kingdom Hearts one doesn't really fit well.
No, it's like 3 feet tall.
Yeah, and then of course Kingdom Hearts 3 is the most recent game, so of course we gotta have that in there.
It works because they share the most similar body type, too.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure if we really wanted to talk about the Mii costumes that could potentially come with them, because it just kind of seems like...
It could literally just be organization coat
yes,
and then a whole bunch of hairstyles.
that's
Yeah,
pretty much
well,
it.
that and a lot of the Mii costumes are just gonna end up being sword fighters anyway.
Yeah.
Because Riku's a sword fighter, Kairi's a sword fighter, Axel, Roxas.
Okay,
Even Xemnas, with his
Zigmar could be the
with his like laser blades,
Totally not Star Wars.
Yeah, it is totally not Star Wars blade.
so now we can move on to the last category, the Spirit Battles. For this one, I had to get some... I only could come up with about 7 different ideas. And I had to come up with them real quickly, so I'm sorry if they do seem like they're repeating themselves, but I did what I could here. For the first one, Riku. It's Marth with a black ult, enemy suddenly has Final Smash. So be very careful when fighting him.
Yep, it reminds me of the Riku Ansem boss battle all over again. He loves to abuse that special randomly. It's like, oh my gosh, no, not
Hit him
again.
once.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. And that's where the idea finally came to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can finally come up with these ideas now. Next one is Kyrie. Pink Purple Zelda holds lipstick. The ground makes enemies fall asleep.
Oh yeah, that would be fitting given the context of KH1.
Yep, either that or she does nothing.
Yeah, it's like her whole role throughout most of Kingdom Hearts. Ouch.
Most.
I think you mean all of it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. All of it.
Okay, next one. Black Alt Richter could be Axel holding a fire bar. The ground is lava.
Yep, like a stinking data fight.
I mean, it was lava too for the the original fight. It's just it didn't affect you as much.
No, yeah, it didn't hurt you at all in the original. Just when you replay it.
I could also either make him like a Captain Falcon alt, or I could make him a Roy alt. But I don't know, just something about Richter seems to work. Also, with the whole cross boomerang, it kind of reminds me of the fire thing he has. I don't know what it's called.
Oh, his chakrams.
It's chakrams, yes. So it kind of reminds me of that.
So basically, he has a fire bar. He likes to use side specials and
down specials maybe, because the fire, even though that's an aura effect.
It still works. It still works.
Yeah.
It's fire.
Yeah, it's fire. It's blue fire, but we're gonna use it. Next up, we have Ventus, the white pit with blonde hair. Holds a boomerang. The floor is sleep-inducing because he has been asleep for a very long time.
Still not a day over 16.
Yeah.
No. And neither
It's like-
neither is Aqua. What the heck?
Nope, not a
And
day over
especially-
18.
Especially when you find out in Ventus's backstory that in Unchained that he's been alive for many years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not specified how long though, right? Just
Yeah.
Yeah,
since then.
just many years.
Many.
Like it's, yeah.
He's the youngest looking elderly person ever.
Yep.
I was gonna put in one for Roxas, but we're kind of hoping that if Sora gets in, Roxas could just be an Echo Fighter. So, I guess in the off chance that they don't put Roxas in, he could just be Dark Pit. But I didn't give much time to think about what he could be. But I mean,
There's
it's
no
Dark
ice
Pit.
cream item.
No ice cream item. No ice cream appears on the floor.
Yeah.
No, Shion.
Which actually, is also an in-joke in Kid Icarus, too, so...
Floor ice cream gives you
Gives
help.
you help.
Exactly what I was thinking before you brought it up. I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Okay, next up is Terra, who is the black alt for Ike, and the ground suddenly causes earthquakes. Did I cut out again, or...?
No,
No, we heard you.
Okay, so we'll just move right on to the next one. Aqua, blue alt Palutena. We wanted Lucina, but her default is already blue. And they don't really use the default characters for the spirit battles. So, unfortunately, we're using blue alt Palutena, but, spear and magic, it works. The screen suddenly goes dark because of all the long years she's been in the world of darkness.
Yeah, I mean, we have, at the very least, we have the Nightmare Assist trophy for that.
Yeah.
If they just don't make it dark outright.
And then finally we have Ansem, dark purple Ganondorf. Assist trophy Midna will help him because he gets that little shadow helper guy. So just,
Guardian.
unless of course, what about if it's not Midna, it could be Marshadow.
Oh.
Oh yeah, true. I forgot about him.
Or Mimikyu.
Ah.
Oh,
yeah.
like when he grabs him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and that is all I think we can think of when it comes to Sora. If they were to bring him into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate or any other future Smash Bros. Games. Unless, was there anything I was forgetting this time? I think we pretty much covered it all. I mean, we could go over potential tracks, but that's way too hard to call.
True.
Yeah, especially since we don't know how much Square's gonna...
Yeah.
Yeah. As much as I want to hear Yoko Shinomura's beautiful tracks in Smash Bros, it's like Square Enix is stingy as heck.
Yeah, give me the 1.5, 2.5 OST or nothing.
Alright, so I think with all that said and done, we are finished. And I want to thank KH Ace, Leon Ramble, and Sunny Epsol for joining me in this video, as well as everybody in the Discord channel for coming up with the ideas for this. Whew. So, once again, thank you guys for joining me on this, and I hope to see you guys in another video soon. Later, everyone!
Thanks for having us here.
Yep.
Take care.
Have a good evening.